Well, hello everyone. I'm Master Amanda at Olson's Martial Arts Academy and also with the American Martial Arts Institute. And today I have Miss Hannah Griffith with us, and she is a certified instructor, recently fourth degree black belt in Taekwondo. And we are going to just kind of get to know her a little bit about her martial arts training and where she's going from here because she's graduating senior in high school this year. So thank you for being here, Hannah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about when you started Taekwondo and what you liked about it as a younger person, all right? And just let people get to know you a little bit better.
Yes, ma'am. So I first got started, I guess it was 9 years ago, um, almost 10. I was 8 years old, and my mom actually signed me up for one of the summer camps that was being offered by Olson's. And it was through that summer camp that I really figured out that martial arts was something that I enjoyed. And then that next summer was when I officially started training at 9 years old. And I think one of my favorite things, I remember always being form, because I remember feeling so confident because I received so much encouragement and so much praise from the instructors. Um, Really just every time that I stepped foot into the building, it was just such a positive environment, and very different from what I was used to with my other extracurricular activities at the time. Um, I just loved it. I just loved the environment.
So you made some good friends here, and it was not just the martial arts. You mentioned that you like training in form, which, if you don't know what form is, if you're listening, it's a preset pattern of martial arts moves that you memorize and practice over and over again. Helps you perfect technique. So you enjoyed that, but then you also enjoyed being here, positive instructors, but I bet you made a lot of friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are a lot of people who either we started training at around the same time or I just met them through here. Um, and we still talk occasionally. I still see them out and about, and we'll talk. I know several staff members that started training around the same time that I did. We're still very good friends.
Well, I think that's kind of a point that people, they want to get into something that's, athletic, or maybe they want to get in for self-defense or just something to help build confidence. And it becomes a community. It becomes a group of people that, you're working to help each other. And that's part of the martial arts journey is, paying it forward, giving back. Somebody helped you, you help the next person. And then next thing you know, you are all just encouraging each other. That's one of the things I like about like you recently earned your fourth degree, and when you're awarded that, just the energy in the room of everybody celebrating that moment with you, and people that came to watch you who hadn't been here in a while, or they had come from out of town, or all kinds of things to support you in that endeavor. I think that's something that people uh, don't really understand until they've been into it for a while, so into the martial
Absolutely.
arts. But and that's really what it should be. Wherever anybody's training, they should be able to uh, have a support group around you and instructors that are building you up and helping you learn. So before martial arts, you mentioned other curricular activities. What other things have you done, um, athletic wise?
The only other sport that I was ever really involved in seriously was competitive swimming. And I started doing that when I was around 6. It was actually when we first moved to Tennessee. My family first moved here. And I got involved with a swim team and started practicing with them. And I enjoyed swimming, but eventually there came a point where it was really a choice between swimming and martial arts.
Mm.
Um, and it just came down to I enjoyed the environment and martial arts, and I really saw it. I think I really saw it going somewhere, as opposed to swimming. I was getting burned out, just wasn't feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
But I could really see my journey with martial arts. I could really see that going much further.
Well, I think that's an interesting lesson too, that, there does come a time, when you're younger, you're trying different things. But then if you actually want to excel at one or find something to, be very passionate about, you do have to kind of narrow things down. And, of course, I'm thrilled and excited that you chose Taekwondo. I don't know if you remember or not. You must have been about 12 years old or so. I ran into you and your dad at the pool. I was swimming and practicing, and you were there too. I don't know if you remember that or not, because that was a
I
long
do
time ago.
remember that. Now that you mention it, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago.
Yes.
But I do remember you training and your swimming. Um, but then you talk about going somewhere, and that's not something that a lot of people think about. And I think that that's one of the things, Hannah, that stands out about you, is that you do want things to go somewhere. You're obviously, I mean, and I see you weekly, you're having a good time. You enjoy what you do. You enjoy not just the training, not just the teaching, but the social part too, the friends that you meet. You've also started working here, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but being up front and greeting people when they come in, that just that whole level of, going somewhere with it. That's kind of unique about you. It's not just about fun. It's not just about you know uh, earning the next belt, but it's about how can this go somewhere with me, and I know that you may be a career martial arts student, for your lifetime, but I know that you have other career plans as far as your job and what you're going to be doing as you go off to college, and we'll talk about that too here in a minute. But to see that martial arts was something that was going to help you reach those higher or other goals too, that's something that's pretty unique. And one of those goals that I know that you had from an early age was working here
Yes.
at Olson's Martial Arts. So I know that you started working here when you were 14, and that's kind of a natural progression for leaders that start here, and they stick with it, and they prove themselves not only as good martial artists but as confident people, and a lot of that you learn here, but being able to take that to the next level. What were some of the first things you did when you started working here? What were maybe some of the feelings as a new employee at age 14, or responsibilities you had that you'd like to share?
It was exciting because it was something that, 5 years prior, I probably never would have imagined, first starting out. If somebody had told me, hey, in 5 years, these people that you look up to, all these instructors, you're going to be in their position.
Hmm.
And it was just a really amazing feeling, knowing that I have the opportunity to encourage kids who, never know what kind of background they're coming from, and just having the opportunity to get to encourage them and, be a source of positivity in their life. It was an honor.
I know it's been a while, but as a young person doing the same thing, stepping into that role, I felt the same way of, it was a responsibility, and I wanted to live up to my instructor's expectations, and be able to do the same thing for the people who I was helping that he did for me. So I understand that. And that's really, the collars that we're wearing, those are the symbol of the yoke, of the burden that you carry as an instructor to do your very best to help your students, so that's what the collars are for those of you listening, just to it's not just decoration, but it's a constant reminder of the responsibility you have as an instructor. So you started working, and what age group did you start working with?
Actually first started out, I started assisting with classes when I was probably about 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't long after I first joined the leadership program that I started helping out with the Karate Cubs class
The preschoolers.
and the preschoolers. And those were, that was my favorite group to work with. The preschoolers, the prep class still holds a very special place in my heart. I love those. I love those kids. I love that group. And so when I first started out, it was a lot of the younger kids, the preschool groups. And then I started kind of working my way up. I started helping out with more of the beginners classes. And now it's all ages.
Yeah. So just, and that's one of the things I like when people want to start helping or leading, or that very first teaching experience, is to find, okay, where are you most comfortable? Let's start there. And then, like you said, you're teaching all ages and everything now. And then most recently, you were given the responsibility of not just helping out with the preschool class, but actually pretty much running that program, so helping out with teaching your own class, making your own class planners, and, and I know you had some mentorship in that role, some instructors that you've had, and then currently I know Master Keith kind of threw you in there and got you started. But for myself, besides just being an observer, stepping in and watching you teach, everything that you've learned all the way up into there just kind of let you go and fly and do your thing out there. It's been very successful for you, and then the students coming out and the parents are very happy with the classes as well. They're pretty full. They stay full, so that's always a good sign that things are going right. So, talk a little bit about that. You know, you were 14 when you started, and working with different things, and then now been given the responsibility of running this class on your own. How was that transition?
When I first, I think it took a little while for it to set in, of the fact that, whoa, I'm actually leading this now. Because it had just, I guess the progression of it had just felt very smooth, and it was something I felt like I was ready to do. And then once I actually got into it, started leading, started taking on more of that responsibility, then it took a little bit of time for it to set in and realize just how much responsibility I was taking on. It was a little bit of a surreal feeling, but very exciting. I just loved
Yeah.
it. I've loved the responsibility and the leadership position that I've had. It's been wonderful. I just love it.
How do you think that that will help you as you go off to college, having that confidence that you can take on something like that? Because I don't, you know, I don't know a lot of teenagers or high school students that have that much responsibility, and trust from someone maybe outside their family, because this is a business. I do, we do have to make our living doing this, so it is a big trust thing to hand that over to you. So how do you think that that's going to help you as you go off to college and work on new things?
I would say, well, my martial arts training and leadership training, and just working here, training here, everything, it made me who I am today. It's been such a huge part of my life that I really think it has just it's made me into the person that I am. And so that confidence and even the teaching skills, one of the things that Liberty University offers is peer tutoring. You can actually work in a building to tutor your peers, people that are your age that are taking the same classes as you. And so that's something that I've looked into, that I've thought about doing. And even just the confidence and the public speaking skills with presentations, giving presentations, and not being afraid to be the one to stand up and completely improvise and be given a topic and just start talking about what I know.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit in teaching martial arts, you know,
Absolutely.
because you may have 5 kids every day, but it's not the same 5 kids, and and they're all different, and you do have to improvise. They ask some fun questions sometimes, and
Oh,
or
absolutely.
their skill sets completely different. Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned Liberty University.
Yes.
So I know that you know in your education you've not just done the martial arts, but you've been part of a robotics team for a number of years, and that team, is that something that has also helped you prepare for college and going off to Liberty?
Without a doubt, definitely. I've loved seeing the ways that my martial arts and leadership training carried over into the robotics team, especially with public speaking, and being the leader, the CEO of my robotics team, leading the rest of my team members as essentially a project manager, and making sure that everything gets done the way that it needs to get done. And with the public speaking, teaching and leading my team and showing them how things need to happen and the order they need to happen and everything, and giving presentations, all of that.
What are some of the things that your team has accomplished, and how long have you been part of the team?
I've been a part of the team for the last 3 years. We got started in January of 2020, right before COVID happened. Our first competition was actually canceled, and so we didn't get to compete. And then the second year rolled around, and the majority of our team actually decided that they did not want to return. And so we went from having 7 team members to having 3. So me and 2 other people were the ones who ended up completing the robot and taking that to competition for our first year. We took home the Rookie Inspiration Award that year for being an inspirational team, competing for the first time. And then the year after that, we actually qualified for the World Championships in Long Beach, California, and we came in 4th place in our regional competition. This past year at our regional competition, we took home the Professor's Award, which is an award for mentorship and community outreach.
Wow. And how many people are on your team now?
Now we were able to get back up to 17 members.
17 members?
We have seven members. Yes, ma'am.
7 members. Okay, awesome. Well, that's great. That probably helps. It helps build your team. Do you have somebody coming in?
Yes, ma'am.
That's okay. We can keep going. They'll be fine. So martial arts, robotics, anything else that you're involved with that you'd like to let people know that you enjoy doing? Just a little bit more about Hannah.
I do have a very strong passion for music. I play the guitar and ukulele.
The guitar and the
music,
ukulele.
Especially.
I'm sorry, the guitar and ukulele. Okay, all right.
Yes.
And so, how much time do you spend with that?
As much as I can. Pretty much just as much free time as I can. I try to practice a little bit here and there. One of my favorite things that I've been able to do is serving at my church on the worship team. I've had I've had the opportunity to lead worship on Sunday mornings a few times. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
And do you play your guitar?
I do.
Wow, that has to be pretty special.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because it sounds like you spend a lot of time up in front. Church,
I do.
robotics, martial arts. You know, from I wouldn't say that you were shy, but you are a quiet person. And I don't know, do you feel like you were shy or now you're not, or do you still carry some of that with you?
When
I'm
I
just curious.
when I first got started, I was definitely much more quiet than I am now. I'd say that I'm much more extroverted now than I used to be.
Yeah. And I understand because I think similarly I am a quiet person, um, but when it's time and appropriate to speak up or take charge if you need to, I feel like I have the confidence to do that, and I do 100% for me. Believe it was my martial arts training, coming up, and um, doesn't mean you don't get nervous or anything like that, but based on past experiences, you have the capabilities. So that's pretty exciting for me as a to see you grow up and do that and know that you already have all that skill set and confidence in everything as you go off to college. And I'll mention you did get a full scholarship to Liberty University. And did you get any other types of scholarships or anything like that to help you with that, or is that all you
Um,
needed?
I did receive a full tuition scholarship to Liberty. I also received the full tuition scholarship was the valedictorian award. Um, my the other scholarships I received were the honors program scholarships. I was accepted into the honors program. I think those were my main ones.
That's awesome. That's just got to feel good when you work so hard, and I know you do, and I know you work hard at your academics, but to have it rewarded in such a great way, that's got to feel very good.
It is. It's a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Mhm.
Both um, knowing that some of the financial strain is it's less, and then also just knowing that all of the work that I put in and throughout high school and the events that I had to miss, the nights with friends that I had to miss because of the ACT and things like that, it's paying off in the end.
Yeah, I think you have a great work ethic. I've seen it, over and over and over again. And it's something that's going to take you very far. So when you go off to Liberty, I know you already, because I know you have a plan. You're not just going to school there. You're going to Liberty. You have a plan. What is it that you want to do?
My plan is to major in mechanical engineering with a minor in biomedical science. And that is so that I can get the prerequisites that I need to hopefully come back to Johnson City with my bachelor's degree and pursue my master's degree in prosthetics and orthotics.
What are your hopes with that? What are you looking forward to?
I would love to design custom prosthetics, especially for kids. Um, I've seen there's a lot of issues in the prosthetics industry, especially with kids, because they grow so much. And a lot of kids, you have to replace the prosthetics constantly. And a lot of times insurance can't always cover that. And so a lot of things that I would like to pursue, some problems that I would like to attempt to tackle.
I can't think of a better person. And that just
Thank you.
really excites me that there's it's wonderful that kids have prosthetics, that they have that opportunity, but to say this is great and to build on, because somebody else had that idea, let's build something for kids, and then you can take that inspiration and improve upon it. And that's really what, we all hope to do, is just to make the world a better place, with the knowledge that we have. So I think that that's awesome. And I know everybody who knows you, or maybe those of you who are just being introduced to Hannah, look forward to the day where we see the successes that you have in that area. And I know there'll
Thank
be
you.
families and kids that are blessed by that. So you have a gift, and you've chosen to share it with others, and that is a great attitude, a sharp mind, a willing spirit. Those are just great qualities.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate that.
well, and I know that that's gifts that you've been given from God, and then also from your family, so I don't take credit for all that. Glad to be a part of all that. Well, before we conclude, I know you have, if there's anything else you'd like to add or say, you're welcome to, but I'd like to hear maybe some of the either a most rewarding moment, or a memory, or a fun moment, or anything from your training or teaching that you think would be an interesting or fun story for people to hear.
Goodness, there's a lot. One of my most favorite moments from a preschool class was we were all they were all sitting kind of huddled together, and the teacher, I was just assisting at this point, but the teachers has them sitting down talking to them, and they're going over their safety lesson. And their safety lesson at the time was learning their mom or dad's phone number, for in case they get lost. And so they're all sitting there, and the teacher asks the group, all right, who knows their parents' phone number? This one little boy, his hand shoots up, and teacher calls on him. Yes. Do you know your parents' phone number? He sits there and he goes, I don't know my parents' phone number, but I do have this hermit crab, and it's really cool. And it has, and he shoots off into talking about the color of the hermit crab shell and all the things that his hermit crab does. And
That was his world that day.
it was pretty funny.
Yeah, and I'd say that, that's one of the things I love too. And I tell people this all the time, it's never the same day twice around here. You
Definitely
might
not.
you might teach a front kick, a million times, but it's never the same to the same person, or with the same outcome, or the same experience. It's teaching is a fun profession for sure.
It is. I love it.
Yeah.
It's something that
Um,
definitely, teaching wise, I hope that it's something that I can always continue to do, no matter what my career is. I hope that
yeah.
somehow I can always work the teaching aspect into it.
You are a teacher, so I would see that would be just natural part of wherever you go, whatever you do. Last thing, any advice that you would give to young people who are starting their martial arts training, who might aspire to one day be a leader or instructor?
I would say just don't give up, don't quit. If it's something that you want to do, if you aspire to be an instructor, tell your mentors and tell your instructors that that's something that you want to do, and they can help you find the right place to start, help you get started with teaching. But just don't quit. Just keep training as hard as you can every day, and just don't give up. Keep your eyes set on that goal.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that's good advice for martial arts, robotics, college, academics, guitar, all the awesome things that you do. So thank you, Hannah, for sharing. um, your experiences with us today. And I know I can speak for myself and all the instructors here and students that we wish you the very, very best as you go off to college. And we've already decided that you'll be coming back and visiting and training and doing all
Absolutely.
that you can because your family lives here still and you have to come home sometime.
Yes, absolutely.
All
Thank
right,
you so
Hen.
much.
You're very welcome. All right, thank you.